Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 30 of our initial run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time, map doesn't really want to load, but we started in the Shadow Keep, made our way down to the Castle Watering Hole. We found this ruins. Don't know if you can get inside. If you can, I don't know how. I didn't look for it yet, but we found another one of the giant furnaces. We made our way to the Recluses River upstream. We made our way to the Recluses River downstream. We found the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum. I'm assuming the fourth and final one, since the previous three were all based on directions, and this one is also based on a direction. We also found the Village of Flies and the Darklight Catacombs. We also got the Dry Leaf Seal, a sacred seal that boosts Mikla's incantations. We also got Rakshasa's Great Katana, a dexterity-based Great Katana that kind of looks like rivers of blood, as you can see here. We also got the Dry Leaf set, as you can see here. Not very defensive, but it's swishy and it looks very nice. We also got the Rakshasa set, which, as you can see here, also looks quite good, and it goes with the Great Katana, though it does come at the detriment of taking more damage. Like, you take more damage, but I also deal more damage to foes, so a bit of a trade-off there. But anyways, here we are back in Belarot, and starting from the main site of grace, the Belarot Tower Settlement, if you have the giant door opened, then you can go through that and go up the elevator and you end up here. This is where there's a bunch of tiny scorpions, and if you go into here, there are the two giant scorpions and the bone bow, I think it's called. But you can drop down into here. Oh, that. I thought we'd deal with you last time. I just tapped that and it was still a one-shot. That's nice. I can see you over there. Alright, so that's just tapping it. Not even holding. Which, you can hold it. Hello. So, that's pretty nice. And I do have 45 faith. And this is at plus 24. And also have 50 strength, which the scales with as well. So, doing a decent bit of damage. It could maybe do more, but if you're running an incantation build, that's probably how much damage the Knight's Lightning Spear is going to do. So that's pretty nice. We can move back over to this, because as you can probably tell by my 10 mind, I'm not that interested in using incantations. I just wanted to see what it would do. But Skidoo Tree Fragment and Carved Words Coalesce. I abandon here my arm Sinistral. I'm going to assume that Sinistral doesn't mean sinister or something similar, Don't know what it means, not looking it up. Not right now, at least. Or that's the lower area with the flies. Okay. And dried bouquet. I'm assuming that's gonna be in here. Yep. Raises attack power when summoned spirits die. A quaint bouquet of dried flowers offered to a small grave raises attack power when a spirit you summon dies. The sorrow that flows from the untimely demise of a loved one is a tenderness shared by all, regardless of birthplace. Okay, so you can put that on and use, like, weaker spirit ashes. Because in the base game, that was a big thing about the weaker spirit ashes, is that there was no point in using them because they didn't do enough damage, they didn't have enough health, they didn't have enough defense. And so that could make using them ever so slightly more attractive. Okay. But I just came here to get the skidoo tree fragment. And now we can head back to the Recluses River downstream. Which, I know that's not how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to be pronouncing it. Because English is a difficult language that I don't know well. It's my first language, it's my only language, still can't speak it. Welcome to English. This way, I believe. It's a late night. Ow, me bones. Right, but anyways, it's a late night, so it's dark and it's raining, but also it's a late night, which means it's close to morning, and I love the rain, so kinda hard to see, but we're gonna stick with it. Can we drop down here? Oh, we can. I am not comfortable with that, but we can. It has just occurred to me that there's the possibility that there could be a cave entrance in one of these. Which, if this were any other game developer, or if it was made by any other game developer, I would have gone, yeah, from, or whatever company, they would never do that. It'd be too easy to miss. But this is FromSoft, and they have absolutely no problem putting just an absolute masterclass of game design somewhere where no one will ever see it, and giving you no hints. Just so that way the three people who run into it can have that authentic, oh my god, what is this kind of experience? And then they'll tell people about it, because why wouldn't you? Oh, round rock, okay. And then that can build community. I don't know if there's anything under the waterfall. Oh, whew. I don't like how fast I went down. But we lived, and so it's okay. And we can use this to go down. I don't know what's down there, but we can go down there. I'm gonna put a marker here. We can put person. I don't have a system for that. Like, I have the sword as boss, I have the skull as deadly boss, and that's it. Rhino thing, we can get to that in a minute. We can also summon. Which, Rhino, or hippopotamus, Very different creatures. Run rock. But they aren't difficult enough to warrant summoning, in my eyes. On the second character where I was going around helping people, I actually fought this thing. Or I fought another one of them. And it really made me realize, and I realized it before just fighting them normally. Erdtree fragment. But it really just solidified that I really enjoy these guys. They're very fun to fight. But that was here on the map. And there's a second one over there. So we can look around a little bit before fighting them. 6 smithing stone one. Again, I get why it's giving smithing stones, but why ones? I can understand like 4 and up, but ones are so cheap. They're like 200 runes, I think. Alright. That's why I typically prefer slashing attacks as the first, instead of downward slams or pokes. Because if you're not locked on, it can be easier to miss those. There you go. Stuck in the animation. I rolled too early there. I rolled too early there. You're really not going down, huh? In terms of, like, stance break. I mean, that's fine. We got a Erdtree fragment that's roughly here on the map. Okay. Like I said, I really enjoy fighting them. Obviously, I didn't do nearly as well on that one. But that's fine. A lot of waterfalls around here. I mean, I guess it makes sense because there's a lot of verticality around here. But a lot of waterfalls. This way. I kind of don't think FromSoft would put a cave on one of these. Like, I don't think they'd do it. But if they did, it wouldn't... Hello. It wouldn't surprise me that much if they did. Hello. Guys are very easy. There's a cave entrance there. I'm thinking either that's an alternative entrance to the Darklight Catacombs, or those are two caves very close to one another. Oh no, this just is... Okay. It's the same entrance. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes more sense. Where are you? I'm assuming they just threw that and then I killed them and then it exploded on a delay. Okay. Totally fine. But that wraps up that section. So now we can go into Darklight Catacombs. Okay. Though, I was kind of assuming that the drops down here would lead us down into here. And that Darklight Catacombs was going to be a dead end. Kind of like a self-contained cave. But I'm thinking either I missed something or Darklight Catacombs is kind of like... I don't know where it is off the top of my head. Dragon's Pit. Where it's a cave and once you get through it, you get access to a new area. Either that or this is a self-contained section and we just have to look somewhere else to get here. Which would be unfortunate. So we still take 3, but we take 5 revered spirit ashes for that, even though it's only at half the upgrade. Which surprised me. Once again, in catacombs, always check your corners. Always check your corners. Because you never know when there's going to be an enemy hiding around. And also, this is part of why I keep a torch on. Because it would be easier to just have the icon shield and then that's it, or maybe just the icon shield and the claw mark seal for bestial vitality and flame grant me strength, which really haven't been using those. But I like the torch just for dark areas like this. Kind of looks like we can drop down onto that. But as per my usual rule, if I have 2 options and one, I can see 2 enemies there, but one lets me come back up or get back to where I was, but the other is a drop, and so I can't get back to where I was, I will always choose the path where I can come back first. I see you. There's also an area this way. That leads off to the side. I don't know. Alright, so that was another tripwire section. So in case you don't know, how I explain it is there are some areas, and it's almost always traps, where instead of activating naturally, you can think of it as like an invisible tripwire or an invisible like wall or barrier that once you pass automatically triggers the trap. And when there's an enemy, the enemy doesn't have to notice you or aggro onto you. It'll automatically trap, or it'll automatically set the trap off. So I'm assuming you're supposed to see this move forward, and then you automatically trigger the trap, wherever that invisible line is, to where if you're jogging, the thing will hit you perfectly timed. So we can drop down onto that. Okay. I'm assuming this path just leads onto the little edge thing. Yeah. So we can drop down onto that. There's a path over there. There's a lever. I don't know what the lever does, but we're gonna pull the lever. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to keep it off for now because I actually like how dark it is and how my torch makes an impact. Hello. Okay. Alright, but I do like that. Having the lights be off, but having... I hear guys making noises. What those noises were, I don't know. Grave Glover 1, so I'm assuming that you're supposed to run here and then you're supposed to pick up the item and that lets you take more damage because it slows you down. Or that you're supposed to stop and look for the noises because it kind of sounded like enemies were hanging on the walls and they were dropping off. And so I think that the item and the noises were there to distract you and to slow you down so the enemy could do more damage. That's what it looks like to me. But I didn't fall for it because, yeah, I think this way is better. Because I think we can go up and then drop down and then drop back down to where we just were. But the way I see it, if there's an enemy and an item, if it's a guaranteed item like that, you can just ignore it because you can just pick it up after the fight ends. And if you die, that's fine because it'll still be there after the fight ends. So I'm not worried about it at all, and I'd rather just take out the enemy first. So it didn't work on me because I go with that approach. Viridian Amber Medallion +3. Boosts maximum stamina by the utmost. Alright, so compared... Right, at 50 endurance, compared to the +2 which you get in the base game, it gives you an additional 3 points of stamina. At the cost of an extra 0.3 on the weight. Alright, so it has the same description except for the final paragraph. These medallions of the largest variety were conferred to Godwin's inner circle of distinguished golden knights. And then, like I said, this drops us back to where we were. It's where we killed the magic guy. But yeah, and then for the noises, if there's a point, or if there's a fight where you have to deal with physical attackers and magic people, or ranged people, I always go with the ranged, or not always, but I usually go after the ranged people first. Because they're more of an annoyance. So, that felt like a trap. Like a psychological trap. But because of how I specifically approach fights, it just so happened to not work on me. So, Steak America? Again, if there's any illusionary walls, I'm not gonna find them because I am too forehead for that. So, if there are any illusionary walls, I would be very happy if you let me know, because in time of recording, I'm on part 30. In time of uploading, I believe I just dropped part 16, so there's a decent difference between there. We can drop down onto that. I don't know. Oh, there's a ladder there. So that gets something. There's an enemy there that I can see. This is why I have this. There's a lever there. There's an item there. I don't see anything else. There's an enemy there. I can see that. I can see the thing up there. Oh. We're gonna pull out the icon shield to get extra health regeneration. And we have the lantern. Alright. So, this is why, like, I prefer Saint Trina's torch to the lantern, because I like how you can hold the torch up. Also like the purple more than the orange. I think that's orange. But yeah, so that's why I have it, but also sometimes I like the HP regen, and sometimes having a shield is good. So that's why I have both. Anyways, I wasn't going to go after this because I dropped down and I went, well, I don't see a way back up. But after coming in here, I saw, oh, there's a thing up here, so that's probably where that goes. And with the enemy, I went, ah, yeah, that's definitely where that is. Or where that goes. So, that's what that was about. And that's why I decided to go where I went and in the order that I went. Alright, so there's a drop down there. And then we can go under the bridge. There's a way down there, there's a way over here. There's a ladder there. There's an enemy there. And this is why I say, take it slow, check your corners. Because catacombs do this a lot. So that leads here, which is just a drop down. This leads here. No illusory walls. Oh, I was about to say, can we just walk out and drop down? Which we can. There. Lever. Is this the lights again? It is the lights again. Once again, I'm going to turn it off. Because I prefer how it looks. Ooh. Yeah, I was about to say, I can see an item that way, which means there's probably an enemy the other way. And it's probably supposed to be a distraction. I know how Elden Ring works. And from what I've heard, it operates a lot like Dark Souls 2, so going to Dark Souls 2, I'll have an idea on how that works. Which is nice. That looks like death. Speaking of death, we got the Death Knight armor set. Okay. And that looks like this. Oh, that looks very similar to Ensha's headpiece, but with extra on it. I can definitely see the appeal of this kind of look. Right. Bottom three pieces all say the same thing. Headpiece says something different. So, headpiece, golden helm of the Death Knights, whose own death mask serve as the visards, I don't know what that word means, of their armor. Enhance the skills and incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. I thought it was going to be death sorceries because it's Death Knight, but okay. The decayed golden wheel that adorns it represents their unbroken loyalty to Godwyn, who became the Prince of Death. And then the rest of the set, golden armor of the Death Knights adorned with an antiquated depiction of the Erdtree, enhances skills and incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. These knights, once Godwyn's personal guard, quested to find their transfigured master's cadaver surrogate for the coming age of the Duskborn. Here. Okay. Well, we got a few things already that boost the ancient dragon cult incantations. So, I don't know why we got another one. I was kind of hoping this would loop back, but hope so. Whatever the other way was, we can come back for that later, hopefully. Though I think we may have gone the wrong way picking this choice. Also, my PC and OBS both had an update between the last part and this part. So hopefully that didn't mess anything up. There's stairs there. Ghost 9. Nice. Oh. Oh. My bones. So we can put this on and go back to the icon shield. And we can see where this leads. Well, yeah, so if anything sounds different, that would be why. But yeah, I thought that the Death Knight set would boost death-related stuff, since before the DLC came out, death stuff was very weak, and dragon stuff was actually pretty strong. Oh yeah, so this does lead back. Good. But yeah, dragon stuff, at least the dragon communion incantations are pretty strong. Like, very costly in terms of FP and kind of slow, but they cast a net over a wide area and they hit very hard. So, kind of surprised that the thing that's already decently strong is getting a bunch of equipment to buff it, whereas death-related stuff, which was already considered to be pretty weak, is getting nothing. That feels a bit off. But okay, so we actually did go in the right direction because it gave us access to that heightened area with the sorcery enemy. So that was good. And that's death. There's a second Stake America here. So I see why there's a second Stake America. I was about to say, an idea that I have for like a little video series is talking about some interesting facts. And one of the things that I had for Elden Ring was that there was only one area with 2 Stakes America, being the hidden path to the Erdtree. But with the DLC, there was one more. I think the Darklight Catacombs, and there's another one here. Oh. Sir, please don't shoot me, it's rude. There's some stuff over there that I can see. I don't know if we can actually get up to him. Up to this guy. I also don't know. I don't know which way is the correct way to go. That goes further down. I'm assuming that you can probably kill him. That takes another elevator down. Yeah, I was about to say, like, we can't get up to him, it doesn't look like, but I don't see why we can't kill him. So we did. Oh, I always keep forgetting how fast you guys are. Goes to 8, but, oh, he dropped an orange item. The orange items are always good. It looks like there's a door there, so you can probably go down and around. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the path forward, and this loops back around to that and then lets you go up. That could be it. So maybe you're supposed to run this way. Like maybe instead of killing him with projectiles or ranged attacks like I did, maybe, oh wow, this goes really far down, doesn't it? I'm doing this just in case there's an opening in the wall at some point. Well, I didn't expect it to go that far down. And third Stake America. And second one of these. Okay. Well, there's the boss. Pretty obviously, because there's boss fog. But... Alright, so I don't know how you would get to... Unless there's a drop down around here, but... Doesn't look like it. Alright, so I don't know how to get over to there then. Unless there's an illusionary wall, in which case, I'm not finding it. Because as I've said, I'm too forehead for that. That is not how I operate. Because openings that look like walls and floors that look like death pits, they always get me. I can never figure them out on the first go. Lever? Does this light things up? It does. I guess we can let there be light. I suppose so. Again, I really like that. Oh. So that brings this down. Huh. Check your corners. There's a ladder there. Big mouth imp ashes. This takes 60 FP, and the spirits of this old imp, said to be fashioned after a dragon, has a big mouth that serves as a cannon that allows it to fire shells from the rear of the battlefield. So that acts as a sniper. Okay, so you're supposed to pull the lever, bring it down, kill it, and then the item is down here instead of up there. Okay. In other words, I kind of goofed myself over by killing it with projectiles. Unless you do co-op and then you have the cooperator pull the lever while you stand there. So we can do this and then we can teleport back. And... yeah. Okay, so instead of this, we can move over to greatly raise this down our recovery speed. We can move over to Pearl Drake Talisman +3. And instead of Taker's Cameo, we can move over to greatly raises stamina recovery speed. That way we get both. And then we can Bestial Vitality, we can Flame grant me Strength. We can Jori. Whoa, 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 that is impolite. Still, Jori, Elder Inquisitor. Alright. Ooh, that looked very cool. They have a very cool design. Oh, they don't stay down for long. And there's a big guy. Ow. Okay, so... a lot of thoughts on this one. Good one. Sir? You can buzz off. What? Alright, so if you get put on the back foot, they can kind of hold you on the back foot decently well. But when you're pushing in and being aggressive, you can hold that decently well. Okay. I didn't see how many runes we got. But the weapon we got was a Great Spear, a dexterity-based, tiny bit strength, tiny bit dex, but mostly faith-based Great Spear. Causes blood loss buildup, does physical and holy damage. Great Staff of Jori, Elder Inquisitor. The tip bristles with golden barbs, symbolic of the Inquisition's torture, allowing one to wield the staff as a Great Spear. Attacks deal holy damage, and potency increases with faith. And then it has the unique skill of Jori's Inquisition. Thrust the Great Staff into the air, firing off a succession of golden barb-like arcs. Holding the button down extends the barrage for a short duration. And it looks like this. So, light attack combo. Heavy. I do like the sweeps for a spear. It adds variety. But backstep, roll, same there, variety. And then running L1, or running R1, running R2, and then two-handed, light attack combo, heavy attack combo, backstep, roll, jumping light, jumping heavy, running light, and running heavy. Right? And then the skill. So that was tapping it, this is holding it. Okay, so there's an incantation like that. Yeah, golden arcs. So this is the weapon skill version of that incantation. I can't speak for how well the weapon skill does, because I haven't tried it yet, obviously. But I have tried the incantation, again, 20, or claw mark seal plus 24, and I did it before respecking, and this is after respecking, but I still had like 42 faith and probably around 50 strength. So still around where I was, like still around where I am now. And it like barely killed a sheep. So the incantation sucked. It kind of seems like the Great Spear skill will be more powerful. Mostly because you can throw it a lot more and faster. But I have not tried the weapon skill, so I cannot say that for sure. Let him shoot. Let him shoot. And he's dead. And now we can get this. Great Ghost Glowwort. Okay. Good to know, good to get. But we're about to hit the 52-minute mark. So we can head back here and talk about the boss before ending it. And it looks like that was correct in that the Darklight Catacombs leads to this area. So we'll get to explore this area in the next part, which is very nice. However, first, thoughts on the boss. So, when it comes to the visual design, like, I was about to say 8 here. I don't know if I want to do letter tier or numbers. I'm gonna go with numbers and then letter for the overall. That makes sense to my brain. So, when it comes to the visual design, I'd say like 8.5 out of 10. It was really solid. Which for me, 7 is decent, 5 is mediocre. So visual design, 8.5, really good. Not quite the best, and not like outstanding, but I liked it a lot. When it comes to their attacks, like I'd say the first half of the fight, I was really on board with it. I really liked it. I'm typically not a fan. I typically very much dislike ranged attackers. I find ranged attackers to be pretty annoying because there isn't really a dance. A lot of my favorite enemies and favorite bosses, there's very much a dance between you and your opponent. Like, take Father Gascoigne from Bloodborne, or Ludwig from Bloodborne, or Dragon Slayer Armor from Dark Souls 3, or Twin Princes from Dark Souls 3. It's very much a back and forth dance. Whereas when you're dealing with ranged people, it's like, alright, dodge, 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 wait while they do the big attack, dodge, 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 and then you get up to them and you just wail on them. And then either they crumble or they teleport away. And I'm not a fan of that. This boss did it way better. Partially because the arena isn't that big. I mean, it's a pretty decent sized arena, but they never really went over there. Like, they didn't go onto the ground at all. They mostly stuck around here. And so there wasn't too much chasing after them. But my opinion immediately shifted when they summoned additional enemies, because I absolutely hate having additional enemies, because I like having a proper one-on-one duel against bosses and additional enemies, in my eyes, just muddies that. But because they eventually went away, you can kind of just ignore them. And so it wasn't that bad, which kind of smoothed that over. So visual design, I'd say like 8.5 out of 10. Attacks, kind of 50-50, because like the attacks from the boss themselves, I'd say like an 8, 8.5. From the other enemies, I'd say like 5, maybe down 4. The big guy that was summoned, I kind of liked his attacks. So that goes up to like a 6, 6.5. Overall, I would say that this was like a high B tier boss. Which to me, B tier is decent. Not like top, but like not like cream of the crop, but not bad by any means. Just decent. And then for me, A is solid, so like A for me is very solid. And the good, like this is what you should strive for. So I'd say that it's like high B tier. They're decent. They have the capacity to be very solid. That could just be my lack of knowledge on them. But I feel like at least part of it is because of the add-ons. The like enemies that they summoned. If they just summoned the big guy, so if they like summoned, say, 5 small guys at like 75% health, and then summoned the big guy at like 35% health, and they didn't go away, they stayed, but they only summoned the handful of small guys once, and they only summoned the big guy once, I feel like that can move them up to A tier, but that's also just personal preference on my part. But anyways, I think we can end it here. We started out at Recluses River downstream. We went and fought 2 of the hippopotami, getting 2 Erdtree blessings from them, and we made our way through the Darklight Catacombs, getting ourselves a great ghost glowwort. We got ourselves the Viridian Amber Medallion +3. We got the Death Knight armor set. And the Big Mouth Imp Ashes, finally culminating in this boss. I forget their name already, sadly. But pretty solid boss. And they gave us the Barbed Staff Spear, being a mostly faith-based great spear. So, I mean, obviously, to holy damage, it's the worst of the damage types, but I think it gets a bit too much hate, because holy is still serviceable. Like I said, it's the worst of the damage types, but it's still serviceable. But decent progress today. Decent catacomb. Decent boss. At least 3 decent rewards with the medallion, the armor set, and the weapon, so I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah.